This is an assignment support video for SSP5005 Marketing and Entrepreneurship in Sport, WRIT1. This video will highlight the entire project over the next 16 slides. This is a summary of WRIT1. This is a group assignment with 50% of the module mark. This will include a maximum of 5 members per group, with each member contributing 2,500 words equivalent. The effort will be split into 4 deliverables. Deliverable 1 is the ideation and planning phase, and this will represent an individual contribution mark through workshop attendance. Deliverable 2 will be a written report from the group on a new service or product, with including a detailed marketing plan. Deliverable 3 will also be a group mark based on a group pitch and presentation. And Deliverable 4, like Deliverable 1, will be a peer evaluation and an individual mark. When taken together, Deliverable 2 and Deliverable 3 will be overall group mark. Deliverable 1 and Deliverable 4 will add individual marks to give you your overall grade for this assignment. General written guidance is also available alongside this video on the assessment section of Moodle. All templates required will be provided through workshops, seminars and teaching sessions throughout the year and available on Moodle. The overall final submission of the project will be May the 7th. The basic remit for this group work. This is based on working as a team to design a new sport-related product or service for either a sports participant or sports fan. Throughout the module, you'll be studying the diversity of the sports industry and considering whether your new product or service will be developed for an existing organisation within the sector. That could be social enterprise, public or private sector organisations. Or you may consider setting up a new organisation, again either as a social enterprise, private or not-for-profit. You will have to be clear about the sector that you're focusing on within sport and the clear outline of how your organisation will be set up. This will be relevant for various forms of funding and your strategy and overall company or organisational values. If you're representing an existing organisation, you have to assume the values and strategy for that organisation when considering the new product or service development. Again, your group very early on through the support seminars will have to distinguish between what type of organisation, service and product or product you are going to develop. So if you're working in the entertainment industry space, either as a private sector, central ground like not-for-profit, or maybe a more public sector organisation such as UK Sport versus a Premier League football team. You may alternatively consider the mass consumption or mass participation market. Again, are you going to be representing a local authority, public sector organisation or a private gym group? Being clear about who you are and what services, opportunities you're going to provide will be vital in the success of this assignment. The product or service may be anything you wish, but you should consider the following as a group. First of all, you should consider the product, service, value proposition. So this is what it is and how is it going to add value or solve the problem for the highlighted customers, whether they be sports fans or participants that you've identified. You need to be very clear about who the target market and the customer segments are and ensure that you understand how your service and product will meet their needs, and also consider how you will develop and promote your service or product to them. You need to consider the channels through which the customers will access your product or service, i.e. will they be purchasing it in a specific space, i.e. leisure centre or a park or open space, a stadium. Will it be through a product purchase website or shop? You also need to consider what key partners, activities and resources you will need to produce your product or service, what your key costs are going to be, and how you're going to generate revenue, i.e. what is your overall business model. All these elements of the assignment will be covered through workshop seminars in Deliverable 1 and throughout the year in the Teaching and Learning scheme of work. The groups or product design teams can be no more than 5 people per team. As a group, you will be required to meet during assessed workshop activities and to make contact with each other outside the classroom environment to ensure that you have covered all the aspects of the assignment. Deliverable 4, which I'll cover in detail later in this video, will require you to assess each other and provide a peer-reviewed mark. So it is important that you keep records of contribution from each team member, and especially if a group is on a borderline mark, this can sway an overall mark into a higher class or lower class range. Deliverable 1 of 4 represents the ideation and planning stage of the overall project. It's one of 2 of the deliverables that represents an individual contribution mark to the final grade. This deliverable is worth 30% of the overall RIT1 assignment. Specifically, Deliverable 1 is split into 2 tasks. The first task is the attendance and completion of assessed sports innovation and enterprise lab sessions. These sessions will be conducted within normal seminar sessions on the following dates. Attendance will be recorded, and every single lab will have a small output which will be taken by your seminar tutor and given back to you at the end of the year as part of the portfolio submission. Please pause this video now and record all these dates in a personal calendar on your phone, iPad, other tablet device, or through a paper calendar to remind you of these assessed sessions. Failure to attend these sessions without mitigating circumstances will not allow you to pick up the marks for this task. Deliverable 1 Task 2 will be a team project initiation document. This will be a very short document that will be submitted in the 5th lab or week 17 of the program. Each team will submit a 1-page document based on a template provided by the tutoring team. The PID document will clearly outline the team members and the early stages of the service or product idea. The deadline for this document will be 7th of the 12th, 2015. All PID documents will be submitted via Turnitin. Your lecturing team will be supporting you throughout this process and giving you clear reminders leading up to this deadline. Deliverable 2 represents the major group submission written report, which will be up to 5,000 words maximum. This will outline and detail your new service and product and specifically highlight a detailed marketing plan to take your product to customers. This deliverable represents 40% of the overall grade for this task and will represent a group mark. Included in this report through your executive summary, section 1, will be the key mission, vision and values of the organisation, which is either an existing organisation, like for example the Welsh Rugby Union, or it could be a brand new organisation that your group is hoping to set up. The executive summary of 500 words will include these mission, vision and value statements, as well as a key bullet point summary list of the service or product and some of the key headlines for your marketing plan. Section 2 will represent the detailed product specifications and prototype information and your overall business model. This will be the large chunk of the submission, 2,500 words. A sample template will be provided to look at example headlines for this section. Information will also be built for this section through the lab seminar sessions that you will be attending throughout the year. Section 3 will be a very detailed marketing plan, considering the marketing mix and overall promotional strategy, which will include traditional and digital media strategies. Throughout, imagery and examples of your product specification and marketing will need to be included. Screenshots of a potential website or app, if you're using those services, can be included, or information about the product itself. Within the promotional strategies, examples and mock-ups of advertising campaigns, Facebook pages, social media accounts, etc. should be included. We will be utilising the business model canvas throughout the teaching and learning sessions for this module, and these will represent some of the key subheadings of the written document. So we will be expecting to see specific information about your value proposition linked to the product or service that you're developing. What customer segments you're targeting, who are they, what information can you find out about them. All this information needs to be cited from credible resources and journals or reports. What type of relationships and how are you going to distribute your product through them, through the channels. In delivering this product or service, what will be the key activities, resources and partners that you need to deliver this new product or service. And in terms of the business model strategy, what are your costs going to be and how are you going to generate revenue streams? And we will be utilizing a large typology of business models during the course for you to select from. Deliverable 3 represents a group pitch and presentation, again resulting in an overall mark for all members of the group. This is worth 20% of the overall assessment. You'll be delivering a 15-minute presentation, which will include 10 minutes talking to the panel about your idea and responding to questions for 5. The expectation is you will be delivering a multimedia style presentation, which will include at the very least appropriate presentation software, PowerPoint or Prezi as examples, but but also pitching around the idea itself. If it's a service, then you will have mock-up websites, social media, promotional campaigns as your presentation stimulus. If you're designing tangible products and it is feasible, then you'll bring a example prototype to the session to discuss. The panel will include tutors from across the program. The pitch will be able to persuade the audience that the new service or product plan is viable, and that either as internal managers of your organization or as potential funders, we should invest in your idea and your team. As a guide, your content should include an introduction of the team and the overall idea, your specific value proposition, including the customer segment and target market that you're focusing on, the key costs to set up, your key business model, so your revenue generation, and the specific startup or project initiation issues. As already discussed, you will need appropriate use of multimedia platforms, websites, apps, video, etc. That the presentation should represent the organization, whether it be an existing or a new organization. All imagery, PowerPoints or Prezi should be set up with an appropriate use and examples of the company branding and identity. They should look and feel like a professional presentation from a credible organization. There will also be marks for team member performance, such as body language, use of voice, engagement, responses to questions. This is an example of how you could design a prototype page and be able to talk around the specific aspects of your product or service. Some of these links can take you to hyperlinks into a Prezi or other video, or take you to a website which outlines specifically your new product or service. But we are looking for high quality outputs at this stage. Finally, deliverable 4. This will be split into 2 small tasks and will represent 10% of the final mark. Deliverable 4 will be a peer evaluation report. The group must compile an audit of all the minutes and meetings, including the seminars that you have attended. Any output from the seminars from the group will be collected by the team and given back to be scanned and included in the audit. You must also include any other formal or informal sessions you've had to compile the overall submission. Second element will include individual peer review reports for each member of the team. So participant 1 will review participants 2, 3, 4 and 5 and vice versa throughout the team. The scoring system and template will be provided by the member of staffs and will be submitted to the overall module leader. An average score will be taken from each individual's template and will be added to the final grade. It is important that in any peer review situation that you are open and honest and provide constructive feedback to all team members. Deliverable 1 and Deliverable 4 will allow the team to distinguish between the high performers and those that have contributed less. So attendance in Deliverable 1 and contribution through Deliverable 4 will set the varying grades amongst the group members. This can mean the difference between progressing into a higher level grade and a lower level grade. . This particular assignment will be supported through all seminar sessions throughout the year. Your module team will be providing you support through the required seminar assessment sessions via Moodle, and if you require any further support as a group, then tutorials can be booked with the module leader via the Moodle tutorial booking section. This normally will take place on Thursdays throughout the year.